So we're going to be doing a nice sweet little bit of yoga for the hips. Usually if I ask if there's anything that no one wants to work on, it always seems to be the hips. So key is to kind of just keep going with it, but not really push it, not overdo it. Otherwise you're going to end up with kind of some really soreness in there. So just kind of work with your strength as well with the legs, but obviously like the flexibility of the hips, but work with integrity. So you're not trying to change something just overnight. So kind of keep it nice and sweet at the same time. Going to be using the wall for a little bit of the posture work. So if you want to place yourself up near a wall, and you're going to need, if you've got 2, 3, 4 blocks as well, if you've got those, then grab those as well. There's the belt as well, and if everything goes according to plan, I'll remember to use the belt, otherwise it may be just sat there and not being used at all. So yeah, grab your belt for just in case. So okay, and then we're ready to start. So if you need to get those things, just pause me and then come back to me. But if you're ready, then we'll make a start. So if you want to just bring yourself just to a nice easy cross-legged, by all means, if you want to kind of bring one heel in front of the other one, then in nice and close, and try and get that top foot so it just tucks in. So you've got both heels coming in towards the body. So this kind of gets more into the Muladhara chakra as it pulls right in up towards your perineum. So hands just onto the legs and sit nice and tall. Make sure you feel as if you're drawing in and pulling up. Now, I've sat myself just back by the wall, so I can place my back against it and roll my shoulders back, and it'll really kind of re-emphasize the fact that I am sat straight. Otherwise, I have a tendency to lean forward more. So, by all means, just take yourself back against the wall. Dip your chin in towards the chest, and just place the hands just down onto the legs just to begin with. So when the hands are just placed down, it gives us more of a grounded feel. So attention now just into your body. And also into the breathing. It may be the first time today that you've actually come just to sit down, just to be alone with yourself. You may have been in the house all day on your own, but just actually to really tune in, see how you actually feel. We just get busy and distracting from our own feelings. We get busy doing other things or doing things for other people, as well as doing things for ourselves, but not always really tuning in to just really ask ourselves how we actually feel. So just taking that opportunity now. And once we're able just to really tune in, just slow everything down, and we feel as if we're completely present. Body working perfect harmony with the breath. And bringing the palms together. And just bringing the head away from the wall so we can just dip the chin in. And set your intention for your practice. If you're unsure, maybe just to feel as if you're working completely for yourself. Taking this time just to spend solely on you. Bringing the thumbs up then to the space between the eyes. And then taking the hands up over the crown. So your intention isn't out there. And bring it back down towards the heart center. Thumbs pressing in towards the sternum and the sternum pressing up towards the thumbs. And releasing the hands down. Okay, we're just going to roll over the legs and bring yourself away. So we're going to straighten out along the floor and take the arms back over the head. We just want to have the fingertips just touching onto the door. So just your fingertips there, or even the middle, the ring finger, middle finger, and index finger. And the longest one's just pushing in. Stretch away through the heels and aiming to get as much of the back of the body down onto the mat as much as you can. We'll get a slight curve there, maybe because you have our natural, the natural kind of rhythm of how the spine lies. So we have to kind of really work to feel as if it's moving down towards the floor. But it doesn't have to be sort of pushing right in when we're stretched out in this way. So notice how that feels and notice if there's any tight spots anywhere. If we feel a particular tight spot, maybe kind of in the rib cage, maybe behind, underneath, like on the left side, underneath the rib cage at the back, or may feel a tightness in the right shoulder, or just to kind of really tune in and see which bits are highlighting for you right now. And if you're not actually feeling anything, soften it slightly. Then again, just go for a little bit more of a stretch. And then soften. Bring the hands down by the sides. Grab hold of your 2 blocks. So you've got 2 blocks there. Just going to bend your legs and place them just underneath your bottom. So pressing down, holding onto the edge of the blocks. Now, just taking the feet out, feet remain about hip distance apart. Slowly start to crawl the feet away, keeping the hips level. What you're not wanting to do is banana over it. So keep the hips level, then when you've gone as far as you can go, we can start to push away through the heels and stretch those legs away. Feel as if the feet are pushing into the wall. Hands holding onto the sides of the block, press the head down. Lift, roll the shoulders back. Again, you don't want to feel as if you've tipped forward too far. So make sure you want to feel as if the hips are actually lifting up towards the ceiling. Pressing away again through those heels. Feel the little toe side pulling back up towards the head. Taking a few breaths. Okay, and then we can bend the legs. So placing those feet back in, we'll be right up onto the toes, press the feet down and slowly start to raise those hips. Now flip your blocks over, turn them around. Unless you have one of the bricks, you can always place a brick in there if you want. And one of the yoga bricks, not a household brick. And then, so we're getting right onto the sternum, so you'll feel that hard bony bit just above the crack. Okay, and then we can start to take the legs out again just a little bit further. So again, we feel a bit more of an opening through the front of the hips, but avoid kind of letting the legs splay out to the side. Again, inner arms, palms facing up, push those shoulders down, squeeze back through your belly, so we have that lift up in the hips. So when we spend all day either sat in a chair if we're working at a desk, or maybe in a chair anyway, because you're just in a chair, you're not doing much else. You could be drawing, you could be doing lots of other things. But also as well, even if you're kind of in the garden, you're going to be leaning forward. Lots of work just involves just kind of being attentive and leaning forward into things. Even if we're carrying things, a lot of the time we're leaning forward. So it shortens off this area and puts a lot of pressure as well into the small of the back. So nice to give this area a little bit of a stretch out. Okay, and then we can just release the arms a little bit, release the shoulders, bring the feet back in again, press down onto the big toe. So pressing down, lift those hips up nice and high, keep the belly drawing back, turn your blocks around and then lay them at one side. And just go to one side, slowly coming down, so your bum coming down last. Okay, right. Grab hold of your belt once you're done. And then laying yourself back down again. So taking hold of the belt, just take a little bit of a larger loop so it can go across the front of your ankles. So you're holding on, fingers are just resting into that loop. Now my feet are pressing down, my back is into the floor. I'm going to start just to press down with the feet and start to lift the hips up. Now to begin with, I'm just getting that bit of mobility, so I'm pressing down, not really engaging too much in the buttock muscles. Coming up and then coming back down. Just to be able to get that little bit of fluidity of movement and just to be kind of, so the body is aware of where it's going. So nothing kind of too shocking. So we're going to just press down and lifting up. And then rolling back down again. Now this time, so see if we can just press down, but squeeze your buttocks on the way up. So really squeeze them in. So we're going to squeeze already, pressing down, pressing down, pressing down, pressing down, squeeze and lift. So keep squeezing, keep squeezing. We're going to lift one shoulder, tuck under, lift the other shoulder, tuck under, keep squeezing, lift up even more. Keep those knees as if they're pushing further away. So hips nice and high. Squeeze the buttocks, it's going to help just to keep that release, the length and the small of the back. And then we'll come back down, don't release the buttocks just yet. Kind of about halfway down, we can start to release. Start to let go, so the tailbone, and that's it, and then back down. So the bum comes down last. Okay, so from here, we're going to take the feet out just about hip distance apart. If you need to, give the legs a little bit of a shake out. Watch the knees. If you felt it was pulling too much on the legs, go a little bit wider. You can turn the toes out ever so slightly, but just going a little bit wider may be helpful. Or take your belt and place it across on your legs. So we're going to be lifting up, this time taking the arms back over the head as we lift up. If you're okay, if you can grab hold of your ankles and then place your feet down, I can't quite get there with that one. But I know that some of you in the room might be able to do that, so you can always keep hold and press down. Again, as long as it's not hurting your knees. So start off, just make sure your back is flat. Squeeze your buttocks, press, lift up with the hips, take the arms back and over the head. Nice long lift over and then coming back down again. And then again, pressing down, squeeze, lift up and back over. And then we've got one more. So press down, squeeze your buttocks, squeeze, 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 and lift and move over and then back down again. Okay, straighten out with the legs, push away through the heels, pulling the toes back, arms back over the head as if you're reaching to the door or the wall back behind you. Okay, and then bringing the hands down by the sides. So from here, just bring the legs into a crooked knee position. Make sure again that your back is settled. Bring your right leg and squeeze it in. Now, if you have trouble with the knees, you can always hold the back of the leg and pulling in. So just draw right in towards the chest. Now release a little bit there, take it off a little bit more to the side and draw that leg down. Now you're going to keep hold with your left arm, bring your right on the inside and take it to the outside of the foot. So once we have it there, we keep that knee right tucked in towards the armpit. Then we can take the sole of the foot up towards the ceiling. So feel as if we're trying to draw down, but the foot is also pushing up. So one working against the other. This leg is just going to stay bent. It's just going to stabilize. So we're really drawing down, stretch, pulling, 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 pulling. Push the foot up at the same time. Good. And then lifting that leg back up. So you can just hold on maybe onto your big toe as we lift that leg up. Again, open up at the back of the knee. We need to have a long stretch on the hamstrings. So now you're going to take your opposite hand, push it into the leg. So it pushes the leg away, but you're trying to draw the leg in. So we're just going to hold there. So a little bit of a push, a little bit of a pull. Hold it for about 10 seconds. So one pushing, one pulling. And then stop with the pushing. Okay, you may feel like we've increased a little bit more of a stretch. And then bringing that leg back down. So that leg can stretch along the floor, first of all. Push your way through the heels and then bring that leg back in again. Onto the other side. So that leg can be straight to begin with, and then we draw it in. So either back of the knee or across on the shin. So we're going to squeeze in first, in towards the body. And then we release, and then we're going to take it down towards the side, so towards the armpit on that side. So that's it, I'm pulling right in. So I'm going to keep hold with my right hand. I'm going to bring my left arm on the inside, outside of the foot. So draw down, draw down, draw down, and then taking that foot up towards the ceiling. Keep pulling down, pulling, pulling, pulling. And then we can start to straighten that leg up. So remember, if you're struggling, you can always just use your belt on that. Now, once we have that leg up and we're aiming to push it away, we can give it a little bit of extra help. So the hand comes onto the thigh. I'm going to push and I'm going to also pull in at the same time. I'm pushing with my right hand, trying to push that leg away, and I'm pulling in through pulling with my left hand onto the big toe. So one is working against the other. I'm going to hold that there for about 10 seconds or so. And then I stop pushing. And we may have increased a little tiny bit on that side. It's my worst leg on this one. It doesn't work quite as well. So we can just bring that leg back down. Give it a good stretch out. Okay, and then drawing both legs in. So squeezing in. So now we can pull in, get to the sides of your rib cage. Hands on the inside, grab hold outside of the feet. The feet, even if the soles of the feet want to come together, that's fine. That's a good enough stretch to begin with. Well, not even to begin with, just a pose in its own right, really. So we can keep the feet pushing together and we can start to open up in the hips. We're going to take that a little bit further. So what we need to do is to turn the feet up towards the ceiling and then draw those legs down. So arms are in on the inside of the legs, so we're squeezing down, squeezing down, squeezing down, and then stretch those legs up. We can grab hold of the big toe, push up towards the ceiling, and then bringing those legs down. So a nice big stretch down. Okay, now if you move yourself back a little bit, scooting yourself back. So again, we feel as if we've just got the fingertips just in reach on the door. So from there, we're going to take our legs straight back and use so either the wall or the door. At home, if you're using the wall, you don't have to just use the door. Okay, so we're going to take legs straight up and straight over into Halasana. Now feet are pressing into the wall. My hands now going to come onto my back. They're going to help lift up a little bit more. My legs should be about hip height, hopefully. Pushing into my thighs to lift the legs up towards the ceiling. Now from here, and it feels okay here, so I'm going to slowly start just to walk my feet down. Kind of about there, probably, before I start just to collapse a little bit. Okay, taking one leg. So right leg, stretch it up towards the ceiling. Push out through my heel. Lifting, lifting, lifting. And bringing that leg down. And then onto the other side. So we lift. And then bring it back down. So those that can bring your feet all the way down to the floor. And then release the hands and slowly start just to roll and bring those legs back down again. Oh, place the hands underneath and then pressing down, bring yourselves up to sitting. Okay, so we're going to take ourselves next to the wall or your door. I'm just going to say door, but if yours is the wall, it's the wall. Right, so feet are going to be just a little bit of a distance away from the wall. So maybe just about kind of an inch or so away from the wall. That'll be fine. We're going to come up, we're going to do Adho Mukha Svanasana up onto the wall. We're going to take the leg stretches onto there as well. And then we can work some other long linear stretches from there. So arms stretch forward, head down. And then from there, bring yourselves up. Tuck your toes under, take the weight back. Make sure the weight is pressing down into the index finger and into the thumb. So you're pressing back and then push up. Get the weight going back onto those heels and then push it so we feel as if we're onto the ball of the foot. Should be no pressure going down onto the toes. I'm just onto the ball of my foot. Now I can place my toes down. I'm going to walk my hands back a tiny bit. From here, I'm going to start to bring my right leg in and then stretch that leg up the wall. Now when it goes up onto there, I'm going to do it so that the pad of my toes are pushing into the wall. I'm going to bring my hands back a little bit further so you can just work that as much as you need to get the stretch along on both legs. So you'll feel it, hip flexor on one side, hamstring on the leg that's on the floor. Really feel that leg on the floor is pulling up towards the hips. Keep the belly drawing back, keep working back into the top part of the back as you push back nicely with your arms. Okay, and then bring that one down. And we can go straight onto the other side. If you do need to have a little rest, pause the video and then come back for the other side. Otherwise, we don't want you to miss anything. Okay, so we can then start to stretch up through that leg. Nice and strong on the standing leg. Pull right up. And then on that leg that's raised, really feeling it there, pushing it right into the pads of the toes. Make sure your belly is drawing back. Nice stretch between the shoulder blades, and then we bring it back down again. So once we're down, keep the weight pulling back, bend your knees, bring it all the way down, release your feet and placing the head down. Okay, taking a couple of breaths there. And then when you come up, make the adjustments, make sure that you're still in your top. I'm going to move that so it's just, otherwise it's a little bit distracting. We'll leave that, move it over that side. Okay, good. So if we bring up, we've done one leg on either side, we're going to come up now. So we're going to do our half handstand on this. So coming up and make sure you get your distance right. So when you're onto this, if you repeat a few times there, sorry, it starts to make you back with it. That and the twists. Right, so we're going to measure out your leg length. Now, even like my arms, I always think are a little bit short. The arms, I just don't stretch them quite as much as what I do with my legs. We're all kind of pretty much the right proportions that we need to be. So your arms and your legs, I mean, to the rest of your body. So anyway, wherever your legs come up to, that's roughly where your hands are going to be down. So if you want to just kind of mark that out and place where your heel of your foot was, heel of your hand onto there. If you feel slightly more comfortable with the hands forward a little bit, then go just a little bit. But ideally, you want them so the wrists are underneath your shoulders. Now, take your weight back. Now, from there, so if we were lifting up again into Adho Mukha Svanasana, so toes are tucked, keep the head heading back, and then lifting up. So we have those heels up onto the door. Now from here, now I know kind of I'm about 5'1", so I don't really need to be taking my legs right up here. So considering the door's only 6'6", so I'm kind of going to go ahead for about just under halfway, okay? And that should be round about my hips, I think, somewhere around about there. So I'm going to press that in, keep heading back, and bring the other leg back. Keep drawing back through your belly. Keep that good strong lift. If you want to, you can go with a leg lift. But remember, don't fling that leg. Just take that leg straight up and then bring it back down. So no flinging. Control it as you take that leg up. Control is everything. Okay, and then back in, and then bring it one foot down, other leg down, head stays down, come down, take a breather, just rotate your wrists if you need to. Okay, and then sit back after a couple of breaths. So again, even though we've been upside down and you're thinking, what's that got to do with the hips? You're really working to get the positioning right. So positioning of your hips and the strength in your legs all kind of adds to what's going on in here. So let's just work on open up a little bit more in our hips now. So we're going to have the wall behind us, or your door. Put that on, keep it a little bit lighter in here, maybe touch. Right. So we're going to squat down in Malasana. Now, if you take your blocks back against the wall, if you know you struggle to get the heels down, so I'm just allowing for my bum on that. So my heels are lifted and my feet are out a little bit to the sides. So I'm going to keep that good strong lift, keep pulling up, drawing in, sucking upwards, and then coming down. So hopefully that'll take the pressure away from the knees. You can slide your bum onto the wall a little bit, so it's slide down, but keep the weight pushing mainly into your heels. So we're not just allowing everything just to collapse down. My arms are in on the insides. I can widen out a little bit to the sides. I can bring my hands in. Keep my belly drawing in and up. So I feel as if everything underneath is sucking upwards. So Mula Bandha, it's our first, it's our root lock. So we should feel as if it's pulling in, pulling up, pulling in, pulling up. So nice and tall through your back. Keep that lift. If there's any pain at all in your knees, then come back up again, okay? So otherwise we're just squatting down. Now then, my bottom is back against the wall, so it helps just balance out a little bit more. So it's helping me to take my weight back a little bit more onto my heels. Now from here to come back up, I'm going to scoop in and up as much as I can. And I'm going to come all the way up, sliding up the wall to bring myself back up again. Okay, right. So from here, we're just going to try that now, just without the blocks there. And again, still in my top. Right. So, again, allow for a little bit of space for your bum to hit the wall. So, but I want to have the wall there. So when I slide down, I keep the weight pressing down and I start to feel it a little bit more into my heels. So I'm squeezing in, I'm pulling up, I'm starting to get that squatting down position. I can slide down the wall a little bit and I can get to kind of roughly about there. My heels are really just starting to come up. I can feel, that's it, and they're down. Good, so I've come down the wall, but I am leaning into the door, but my heels are down onto the floor. I can then start just to take my knees out a little bit wider. I can start to push out, I can bring my hands in. So when my hands push in, it take my legs a little bit wider, keeping that lift. So holding there, a couple of breaths. Keep squeezing in and up. So remember that Mula Bandha, that root lock. So squeeze in, pull up, squeeze in, pull up, takes the pressure away from your knees. Okay, and then we're going to use the wall. Press in, squeeze in, come all the way back up again. Whew. Okay, good. So we're starting to really work to open up a little bit more in the hips. So from here we're going to be doing Ardha Chandrasana. So Trikonasana first, then Ardha Chandrasana. We're going to be using, so if you have got a really good big bit of the wall, then that's going to be great. You can be using that. And if you do have your blocks, bring those in. Okay, and they want to be there. So in Trikonasana, we know we're going to have our left foot pushing back, right leg is out, so a good distance apart. So let's get into Trikonasana first. So heel pushes into the door. We'll keep the lift, keep rolling out, arms out to the side. So one is bent, obviously it's onto the wall, and the other one is stretching out. So we inhale, we lift, exhale, lengthen over, lengthen over, lengthen over. Bring that hand down. Top arm is reaching up towards the ceiling. Okay, and then to come back up, push into the door, come all the way back up. Look where your right foot is, step that back foot in, and then we'll do the other side. So we can just take our right leg straight back. Oops, where's that? Okay, so we're keeping that lift, one hand onto the door, one arm out, squeezing in and up. Remember the whole that leg is turned out, and then we exhale as we lengthen over, lengthen, 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 dropping the hand down, arm going up. So make sure we feel that length through both sides of your waist. Good, and then push into the door, inhale as you come back up again. And then notice where your foot is, step it back in. Okay, so we're going to move this round into Ardha Chandrasana. Now, even if you've got a little footstool and you want to use that, have that there rather than just your two blocks. If you want, or you can turn your blocks so that way around. If you've got more blocks, stack them on top of each other. We don't necessarily want the balance to be the main focus. You want it to be kind of that opening up in the hips. So if we get that same positioning as we've just done for Trikonasana, so I'm kind of thinking my legs are a hell of a lot longer than they are. Okay, so remember when you place your hand down in Ardha Chandrasana, it is a foot in front of your little toe. Now push that back foot right into the door. Draw your hip back, arms out to the sides, keeping that lift, then exhale, lengthen over, lengthen over, lengthen over, lengthen over, lengthen over, lengthen over, drop the hand down, top arm stretching up. So we go through a good Trikonasana. Okay, from here, we're just going to bring that top arm, rest it onto your hip. You can keep drawing your hip back. Look down towards your big toe. Place the hand, so you can start to bend the leg, place the hand onto the blocks. Then we start to transfer that weight. We can bring that foot up onto the wall and we can throw ourselves back and stretch that arm up. So as you see, we can roll out on this leg on the floor, pressing down, lifting up, rolling the top hip back as much as I can. So I'll feel you should be able to kind of have both your buttocks to the wall, body turning as much as you can, and you're looking up towards that top hand. So nice like starfish pose, just plant yourself against that wall, with the hips nice and open. Okay, and then to come back down, look down, bend your knee, place your foot back, so it goes back against the wall. Straighten out with the leg, back through Trikonasana, and then coming all the way back up. Okay, step it in. Whew, nice one. Well, makes you feel really nice and open in the hips. So to do the other side, because obviously I can't really turn that way around, so I'm going to have to do it from this side. So if I just imagine that I have my foot against the wall to begin with. Okay, so imagine on that line. So I'm just turning that one out. Okay, so we've all got our positioning. So my foot is going to be against an imaginary wall. So I'm pulling that side back, really planting that foot back. Arms out to the sides. And then we start to exhale as we go over, as far over as we can. Bringing the hand down and the other arm is up. So I'm into Trikonasana. Then I can start now to bend the knee. Place the hand onto the blocks and I transfer the weight. I lift that back leg up, So I'm getting my leg pushing back, my bottom heading back against the wall, arms stretching up as much as I can. So I'm focusing more on just opening up here. That bottom leg is really having to work really hard to pull up. So feel yourself kind of back against the wall. Hopefully not just a freshly painted one. Everyone seems to be painting or gardening. Okay, and then we're going to come back down again. So we're going to bend the leg. Allow yourself just to slide down that wall as you place your foot back. Straighten out with the leg. Hands then all the way back up. Turning the feet back in. Okay, and walk the feet back together. So we feel a nice opening in the legs. Okay, good. So Virabhadrasana 2. Let's have a go with that one. So a nice pose. So pushing your foot back against the door, nice and wide with the legs, a little bit wider this time. So heel in line with the instep of the foot at the door. Nice lift. Again, apply that root lock, Mula Bandha, keeping this leg turned out. Arms at the sides. And exhale, bending the knee. And we can feel it straight away. There's nowhere to go. There's no real support on anything for this one. So we're just keeping it there. Keep your tailbone tucking under. Keep that feeling of pulling in and drawing up. Have a quick glance at the knee. Make sure it's tracking in the same direction as the toes. Arms stretching out to the sides. So not allowing ourselves just to dip too low on this one. Ideally, we need to form a right angle between that inner thigh and the shin, or even the inner thigh and the calf. Okay, and then to come back up, push to the leg that you've left behind, all the way back up, turn the foot back in. Take a moment there. Now we can turn that leg back out again. And we can step it in. Okay. So let's work it on the other side. So taking the leg back. Keeping the body level, press down, squeeze in, pull it up, arms out to the sides. Make sure the knee's going to track in the same direction as the toes. And then exhale, bending the knee. So feel a nice deep squat down with this front leg. That whole of that leg is rolling out to the side, so it keeps a good bit of space. Strength through this back leg, arms stretching out to the side. Bum tucked under, it's not sticking out, remember. Now feel as if the right rib cage is pulling back towards the right. Now feel as if the left rib cage is pulling towards the right. See if we can go that tiny bit low, but not just collapsing down into it. Good, and then coming all the way back up. Turn the feet back in, just take a moment there. Turn the foot back out and step it up. Okay, so we're going to add a twist into this. So if we add Parivrtta Parsvakonasana. So Parsvakonasana is like going into Virabhadrasana 2. We have that extension on it, but we're going to take the twist with it as well. Okay, so grab whatever blocks you need. If you need a couple of blocks, or if you need kind of like a little footstool bit, something like that, then that's fine. Now, normally and traditionally, you always do the right leg first. We're going to do the left leg. You can do the right leg if you want to, but I'm going to do the left, mainly because then I can show you right from on that left side with my foot back onto the wall or onto the door. So to get our positioning, we're going to take that from Adho Mukha Svanasana. So So our arms stretch forward and down. We come up, tuck the toes, and lifting up. So we have our heels pushing into the wall, the door. Now from here, I'm going to step my left leg forward. I'm going to start to bend that leg. So a nice deep bend in that leg. Back leg is still pressing into the door. Now from here, I'm going to then just bend that back leg and bring the knee down. So blocks are in nice and close into the side of me. I come up, press down, taking a lift, both arms up. So I get a nice long stretch through the sides of the body. Then bring my left hand down. I'm going to take my right arm across. So it's going across that leg. Now, kind of take it across, anything in the middle, kind of pull it round a little bit. But once you get over there, feel as if you need to lift up a little bit. Now, from there, we can bring the hand down. So a hand can push down into the blocks. When it pushes down, it's also pulling up and away. Now, backhand, take that back behind you. Turn, look back. Either stay here, or we can bring the arm up. We can take it over the head. And if you want to go a little bit further, then push that back heel onto the skirting. And then back down. Ooh, tough one to do and to talk at the same time. Okay, so we can just move the blocks over to the other side for when we're ready. Hands go down, we're going to push back and bring that leg back. So a nice big stretch up out of it, just leveling up from the sides of the body. Okay, and then we'll do on the other side. So we're going to bring our right foot forward this time. So back heel would be pushing in. So we've got that set up like a get set go position there. I'm just bringing that back knee down. So from here, taking the arms up over the head. From that long stretch, right hand down, left arm goes across. And pull anything out of the midsection out the way, just pulling it round with you, placing the hand down onto the blocks. So when we're there with it, back hand, take it back behind you, roll the shoulders back. You can then take the arm out, bring it up and over the head, and when you're ready, lift that back leg. Okay, and then bring it back down. Oh. Take the knee down just for a moment, take a breather. And then hands go down, push into the back foot, take the front leg back. And right up onto the toes, come down and sit back, head down. So you can just rotate the wrists if you want to, if they're feeling a bit sore. After your 2 breaths, bring yourself up. Take your knees out a little bit wider. So head towards the edges of the mat. This is only quite a narrow mat, is this one. So I'm kind of well over the edges of the mat. But then slide the hands forward so you really feel as if you're getting right into the hips. Now you can end up coming too far forward, so keep the bottom back and just melting down. Okay, and then push to bring yourself back up again. We're still with the legs quite wide. And then bringing the legs back in. Okay. Right. So if you have like maybe 4 blocks, something, if you do have 4, if you haven't, you can use a chair either side, or if you've got some books or something, if you want to kind of push down onto the books. So you're going to have those blocks either side of you. Now, if you bring yourself forward so you're sat just with the legs out in front, kind of take a little rock forward and a little pull back. A little rock forward and a little pull back. Take the legs a little bit wider. Rock forward and then back. And again, rock forward and back. Bring the legs down and rock forward and back. Rock forward. This time hook the elbows underneath the legs a little bit and push the hands together, just edging yourselves a little bit further forward and then back again. And then again, just edging in and back. Now, some of you may be able to just bring your soles of your feet together. Keep the blocks handy, we'll need those, we'll be needing them next. So from here, just you can kind of shuffle your bum back a little, some of the flesh back on your bums, and then bring the forehead down towards the soles of the feet. If you can rest it there, that's great, well done. Nice one, and we're kind of all aiming to get somewhere near there. So if you have managed to get it there, then just fold your head in more. Take your hands underneath. Now when the hands go underneath, you're aiming to kind of catch the hands a little bit more towards the back of the body. As you can see, I'm nowhere near on this one, but some of you may be able to kind of get there a little bit lower. So your arms are through and you're aiming to catch your hands kind of behind your back. If not, then we work back into this position, kind of coming forward. This is fine. So legs are rolling out to the side. We still get an external rotation on the legs. Okay, and then everyone just coming back up again. Straighten out with the legs. Now, if we bring those blocks in, place the hands onto the blocks. Take a little lean forward. You're going to lift your bum up off the floor. So we're going to squeeze the belly in and up. And then back down. And then again, we're going to do, if we do 3 more, okay? One. 2. 3. Do 1 more. And back down. Oh, you're kind of getting it right in here, but also kind of on your thighs a little bit as well, don't they? So this time, let me just move my mat around a little bit for you. Move it on a little bit more of an angle. This time we're working a little bit more with the leg. So if we start to kind of rock our weight forward and back a little bit, one leg can just stay as it is, one leg a little bit bent. We can kind of rock forwards and back, rock forwards and back. So each time coming in a little bit more on the inside of that leg, just bringing it in. Think of getting the shoulder a little bit lower. So ideally, the knee kind of wants to be higher than the shoulder. Now, once we get a little way through and onto there, take the hand underneath and then pull the leg back. So then we can get the leg. Now, if you have a long femur bone, and some people do have a long femur bone, then you may be able to find that the knee is up a lot higher. If not, what you're going to have to do is really feel as if you're squeezing it towards that leg. So again, we can hold on to it, we can rock forwards and back. Keep squeezing in on your belly. Now the leg which is stretching away, that leg is going to be nice and strong. Pull up onto the muscles and push away with the toes. Keep that leg squeezing in, squeezing in. Now we're going to just bring those blocks in a little closer. And the reason being is because we come forward and then we're going to hook our hands onto the blocks. So onto there, hand in hand, and then we push to lift up and we push away, straightening out. But squeeze your belly, squeeze your belly. Oh, and then back down again and straighten that leg. Oh, I can really feel it. Okay, so use not necessarily just the strength of the arms to pull up, but really tune into the belly to pull in and to suck up to pull up. But also, and that's going to really tune into the adductor muscles, the muscles on the inner thighs. They need to really feel as if they're squeezing in and gripping. So remember all that we were saying about the hips being nice and healthy. And although we want to kind of like open the hips up a little bit more, there still has to be that strength as well as the flexibility. So let's work on to the other side. So this leg is just going to kind of relax a little bit. We're going to come forwards and back with that leg just heading out a little bit more to the side. So we edge forward, each time encouraging the body to get that little bit lower. And then when we feel that we're kind of getting there, then we can start just to bring it back, hooking it up and rocking forward. Now this, for me, this leg is a lot weaker than the other side. It doesn't, there's certain muscles which, from having kind of root blocks and things like that done, the muscles just don't work quite as well on this side. So no matter how much I strengthen on this side, it's not going to kind of work with it. Okay, so, but we keep trying, Okay, so we've rocked, we're going to keep squeezing that leg in. Now we'll take a little rock forward, squeeze, hold onto the blocks as much as you can. So you're going to press down, you're going to squeeze your belly and then work to lift. So we pull up, we're hooking that foot, we're stretching forward, squeezing, and then releasing back down. Oh, that tightness in your belly. Okay. Right, so now once we've gone from there, we'll see if we can work it both legs. So I'm going to take the blocks. I just really want one block there. Move the other ones out to the side. So on this one, legs are forward of the blocks. Blocks are going to be there if you were kind of needing help putting your heels down on the floor when we did the squatting, then on this one, excuse me, then as we go back on this one, this is why it's best, I think, if you can get the heels down, you can maybe get the hands down. If the heels need a little bit of help, you're going to need a little bit of help underneath the heel of the hand. So we're going to take the feet out a little bit wider than the hips, turning the feet out to the sides. We keep that zipped in, pulling up, so that Mula Bandha, drawing in, pulling up, and we start to come forward. So we start to squat down. Now when we start to squat down, oops, bring that with us, then we can start to bring the hands onto the block. Now however you want to kind of have the hands onto that block. So we can start to walk the feet back in. Now the legs are just going to grip onto the arms, so we're pressing down. Now ideally the hands want to be forward on it. Get the feel for it first, and then we can turn the hands round. Okay, so once we've got there, then turn your hands. So if we can get those hands back, oh, start to lift the legs, maybe little lift, up, and then down. So hopefully see if we can get those legs to lift. If you can manage it, see if we can get the leg to cross over, so one ankle crossing over. Let's just try it with 2 blocks. See, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So we squeeze in, we pull up, and we come down. So arms come in on the inside, and then we're onto the blocks. So we're going to press down into the blocks. And then we can start just to maybe lift those legs. Ooh, crossing over. Up and down. Okay, so how did we get on? Did you manage to get any of that done? So it'll keep the strength in the hips, but also we need the flexibility to make those hips move. So we'll have one more pose, which we can try on that one, Astravakasana. So on this one, again, it is where the hips have got to be really nice and open. We need to have that mobility a little bit on the back, so we have added the twist into there as well. So again, from legs being forward, just rock forwards and back a little bit. So rocking forwards, rocking back, so we're able to kind of get that mobility getting right into the hips. So on this one, we kind of scissor the legs. So one foot can just start to come in, other leg is going to be up. Now I'm going to start to pull that leg back, and we take hold, taking the arm underneath and bringing that leg up. Okay, so we've got it there. Now at some point that leg has got to really work to pull in. So even when we rock forward, if we place our hand down, this leg has got to stay there when I let go. The other leg is going to come up and cross, then we rock forward, chaturanga arms, and lift. Okay, so that hand is flat onto the floor, squeezing in. Get that crossover on the legs. Rock forward and lift. Oh, and then back up again. So if you didn't manage it on that side, see how you go with the other side. The other side just does not happen for me. So that side's not too bad, I can kind of get up. So on this side, we bring the leg in, so it's almost in a position just to be ready. This leg, it's the inner thigh muscles, which have got to really work to pull in, plus the stomach muscles, plus your core muscles, really squeeze them in, pulling up. But here, it's that pulling that leg in. Okay, so we get onto there, then we can start to rock. We can bring that leg up and back. Now, as we bring it up and back, it's going to come back and we're going to take the arm underneath. So we're underneath there, okay, and the hand can go down. Now, when we let go on this one, the leg has got to stay. The other leg is going to cross over the top. And then hopefully we feel as if we're squeezing the legs together as much as we can to keep the legs together. Rock forward into chaturanga and just scissor the legs, okay? Scissoring as in kind of like a pair of scissors, squeeze them together at that pivot point on it. Okay, so we're here, gonna lift up with that leg and then we rock forward. Oh, no, it's not happening that side. Okay, so see how you go. This leg has really got to pull in. It's got to pull right into the other one. So how we managed to go on that one? If you need to, just keep going back and playing it over and over again on those. Over and over. And it will eventually come. I'm managing now, again, from the muscles being damaged on this side, from the back operation. It just doesn't work. But it's starting to get where I can lift the leg up. It's taking quite a while, but I can start to lift that leg now and just take it out a little bit. So there's faith in this, you know, it will come back. Okay, so how are we doing? Are we okay on that? Right, we're going to do one more final twist. And we're going to do this with the legs nice and open. I think we did do this one last week. So if you need a block, grab a block to sit on. If you don't, if you're okay with it, then don't bother. So as long as you can sit tall. So legs, start off with them straight out to the sides. We're going to bring our right leg in. So pull that leg right up. Okay, I'm going to twist towards the right hand side. I'm not mirror imaging on this one. Twists get too confusing to mirror image. So leg is out to the side and I have grabbed hold of that leg, grabbed hold with my left arm. Now I'm going to take my right hand back and use the wall to push into to enable me to twist round that little bit more. Probably a little bit near to the wall. That's it. So I can move that leg out a little bit, get some of the baggage just to move around. That's it. And then just turning and looking back. So when the legs are open in this way, it just gives a little bit more room to enable a little bit more of a twist. Okay, and then we come back. Keep the height in the body as you come back round, and then on to the other side. So leg stretches out, bringing that other leg up. So we're lifting right up. Keep the height in the body, and then we grab hold. So lean back a little bit, get some of that baggage round, taking the hand back. So that's going to enable us, it acts like a stabiliser, that hand, and just to enable us to twist round that little bit more. Great feeling, I think. Twists at the end of a session are just kind of like the most yummiest thing. You really get nice and deep into it once the body is fully warmed up. And it's not until you actually come out of that, you're like, oh, yeah, that's good, that's nice. Okay, and then bring it back round. Straighten the legs. And now your Shavasana. So for Shavasana, this time we're going to relax with the legs up the wall or up onto a chair, or even if you're sat on your sofa is there, have the legs up. So just bring them up so that the hips can then fully relax with everything what's happened with them. So if you're unsure, just look. So I'm going to just kind of be near to the wall and then turn and just get the legs just resting up the wall. Now you can by all means kind of take a block or two just underneath your hips so it's slightly raised. But here is just fine for the amount of work that you've done. Maybe just want to settle and just let the legs just stay there for a moment. Now with the arms, they can be wide. You've opened up nicely, even across the shoulders, across the top of the back. So if you can take your arms back and you relax, then by all means take the arms back. If they're back and they're like this and there's a huge gap, then go a little bit wider. Just be kind to yourself. Get yourself to feel completely supported by the ground. So grab yourselves kind of your Shavasana position. So I'm just going to now just start to bring myself away from the wall. And I'm just going to, you can stay in that. Now taking deep breaths. It's nice, long, deep breaths. And just scan the body, just being aware if there's any obvious tension held anywhere. Even when we feel that we're relaxed, it's not until we can bring our attention, our awareness just to one particular area that we think, oh, when we start to feel it release and start to feel it let go. It may even be in the ankles, the knees, the thighs. Notice whether we're holding and clenching the buttocks. So just, again, just allow them to release and let go. Taking awareness just to the back of the body. And each time you exhale, just feel the body release, let go, and feel completely supported by the ground. Soft, smooth breath. Noticing whether you're holding on to any tension across the shoulders, across the throat. Bring it up. How does it feel on the back of the head? You feel as if the back of the head is broadening. There's the tension in the scalp. Again, just give yourself permission just to release and to let go. Just noticing the softness of your body. Soft, subtle movements of the body as you inhale and exhale. Just allowing the eyes to sink back in the sockets. Noticing the coolness of the air as it passes the nostrils and you inhale. The warmth of the air as it passes the nostrils as you exhale. Just being aware how you're holding your mouth, the lips. So allow the lower jaw just to rest back, the tongue to settle back. The lips just lightly touch each other. Noticing the space inside the mouth. Space in the throat. The next few breaths now, just allow the body just to release, to let go, to feel completely supported. Okay, so just carefully now, just start to bring yourself away from the wall. Being aware how you feel, how you move. Noticing the subtle movements, maybe of your fingers, your toes, the sounds that you hear. And just making your way back up to sitting. Bring your hands together. Bring your chin in towards the chest. So just bringing your thoughts back to your intention, which you set at the beginning. And then dedicate the energy of your practice to someone you feel could do with a little bit of help right now. Taking the hands up over the crown. And slowly start to draw the hands down past the Ajna chakra, intuitive center, the center for wisdom. Vishuddha, we speak our truth and listen well. Anahata, center for love and compassion. Manipura, center for will and drive. Svadhisthana, new beginnings and creativity and change. Muladhara, strength and stability. Just bringing the hands back to the Anahata chakra. The center for love and compassion. Just always remember to hold a place there for yourself. Softly open the eyes. Namaste. And well done, everybody, if you managed that session. When you work with a good, strong focus on something, it really does kind of become a meditation in motion with that one. There's no room for anything else to get in there. And good, strong one as well for the hips. Keep working on the strength of keep like trying to draw the legs in. That is all to do with kind of like those inner thigh muscles and the core muscles as well. Well done if you managed it. I shall keep working on it myself. Okay, so thank you very much, and stay safe, everybody, and stay well. Okay.